previously on Talk That Talk.
Right? That's respect for anything. Chuck, something really broke my heart the other day, man, and it won't this mess. I was
Yeah.
in one of them groups, the Uncut group, and there was a story about how a young man who was a recent graduate of A&T had got in
I know
trouble.
exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
That's my chapter, bro. Like
right. He
I'm
had
his.
got in trouble for inappropriate relationships,
Yeah.
and people were on there making jokes about it like it was funny, but
Right.
they
They made
on
a
here
meme.
online
They
mad
made a
because of
whole
our
meme
punishment.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's where we are as a people. We got people that glorify that behavior.
But
Whereas you
go
got
ahead.
I guess my question to you, Chuck, is this, and June, I would love for us to talk about this.
Yeah.
What are we looking for with our programs? Is there a standard at all? Is there a standard of behavior as professionals? Is there a standard of expectation for musicianship and performance? Yes, entertainment is important. Me personally, when I knew I wasn't a great band director, I was doing like some of the people here are doing. I went to TMEA. I went to Midwest. I went to
Yep.
these places where the people don't look like us. Majority of the people there don't look like me and you and Mario.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I sought out the information that I knew I didn't know. Whereas in our community, it's okay to not have the knowledge you need to be great at your job, but that makes you an expert because you marched in somebody's band 10, 15 years ago. Just because
Mm,
you marched in the band doesn't make you an expert at music. That just means you were able to put one foot in front of the other and play music. But to
bro.
get up there and do the job that it takes to be a professional and to be a teacher, not a mentor, a teacher of the art. Music is an art, it is not a hobby. To get up there and teach this art form that so many of our ancestors worked so hard to mold for us, especially with American music. American music is black music. You know what I'm saying? Like it
Right.
is.
Mm,
So what is the expectation? What do we have as a group of educated black men or people of color, whoever you are, women, whoever, that what is the standard that we're trying to achieve? Is it just so we can have a punchline on Facebook, or are we actually trying to improve the community in a positive way?
Well, I think honestly,
Yeah.
and I know a couple of people want to get in there, and I'm just gonna say
yeah.
my piece and get back out because I'm still trying to figure out why we had over 500 comments on on the what was it the
Uncut. Oh
uncut group,
no, meet
and
me on
then
the 50.
also Eddie's group, Meet Me on the 50. We had 200 over there, and I think 300 and uncut. But all of a sudden, can't nobody say nothing when you got to actually look at somebody in their eye. But we ain't gonna talk about that. But I really think that unfortunately we've gotten to, as far as the culture is concerned, when you and what you're talking about, we've gotten into this thing where it's about being petty. Who's the first one to make the first petty comment and can and joke about things? And I remember when I was teaching in St. Croix. Um, I put a post up on Facebook, and that was during the time when the phrase was "it ain't that serious." I don't know if y'all remember that, but it was a couple of years, a lot of years ago, maybe over 10 years ago, when everybody was going, "Man, it ain't that serious. Man, it ain't that serious." Well, now we've gotten to a point to where nobody takes anything seriously anymore. Everything is a joke. Everything. Nothing has, like you said, Rick, any standard, especially in our culture. So I definitely get where you're coming from, Rick. So yeah, 100%.
There's a couple things that I pulled from this. Like, so I was on the side of, so I understood. I agree with Rick about the fact that, like, the age issue with the inappropriateness is the negative part. You know what I mean? Because in the negatives, in most situations, it will always outride the positives, because all it takes is one negative to end a whole program. So you know what I mean? You don't need but one situation to ruin it for everything else. So I was on the mindset. I was talking about that gap, right? For people who do want to find a way to give back. Their program doesn't exist anymore in the city. They never went to a college to march. They live in the city and work a regular job, and they got these young kids who want to play trombone, and there's no people to do it, and they don't really teach lessons because they're not really that good, but they're better than, what I mean, they have a little bit of skill, and they're like just trying to find a way to that old avenue reminds them of a positive place. And everybody understands this on this call the mundane vibe of life sometimes. So you go through day to day and it can just get, monotonous and just like, just doing another day. What my position was on this was just that I'm not sitting here being the music police on everybody. However, there does need to be a higher standard when it comes to universities. I just don't believe in bands copying mass bands. Like that's what I feel like. A university should separate itself from the mass band. Can operate however they want to. You have the NBA and you have N1. N1 can exist with the NBA. You still a travel is a travel. Well, I don't know, unless you're LeBron, but but in most cases, a travel is a travel or whatever. You can call certain rules, but then you come to N1, you can do some stuff to hype up the crowd and get the oohs and ahs. We have become so infatuated with just our like this almost prehistoric entertainment level. Like we need this just bottom line. If it doesn't entertain me, I don't have any tolerance or any patience for it or any ear for it, or it's gotta be at this certain level for it. And then I'm like, we can't find. And what my point was that I said in the comments last time, well, not in the comments, but in the conversation, I was saying I can enjoy a love story. I can enjoy a romantic comedy. I can enjoy a horror movie. I can enjoy like an action film. It doesn't take anything from anything else for me to enjoy different things. And that's all I was saying is that people have different ears and their ears may not be music education ears.